Now confirmed, Princess Leonor says yes to Prince Christian Fairytale proposal. A royal future, carefully guarded. A love story, thought to be impossible. But now, a surprise answer that no one expected. Princess Leonor has said yes to Prince Christian. This changes everything. It was never just a rumor. Whispers had echoed through the grand halls of royal palaces for years. The Crown Princess of Spain, Leonor. The Danish Prince, Christian. 2 heirs, 2 futures, and perhaps, one shared destiny. Now, it's real, confirmed, and more emotional than anyone could have imagined. This is the untold story behind the moment Princess Leonor said yes to Prince Christian, what led to it, what it means for their families, their countries, and for the future of Europe's royal legacy. Let's begin, not at the proposal, but at the first time they met. Not in a palace, but at a quiet diplomatic reception in Oslo, 2019. Princess Ingrid Alexandra's 15th birthday celebration. It was a gathering of Europe's young royals, but it wasn't meant to be anything more than formal. Until Christian looked across the room. And Leonor smiled back. Observers that day noticed it. Not loud, not dramatic, but unmistakable. A soft connection, quiet, royal, and very real. Since then, their lives have moved in parallel. Leonor, stepping into military service, facing the intense scrutiny of the Spanish media, and growing into her role as future Queen of Spain. Christian, taking on more public duties, carefully walking the line between boyhood and monarchy under Denmark's ever-watchful eyes. And through it all, they stayed in contact. Private letters, discreet visits, official trips that carried unofficial meanings. But it wasn't without resistance. Sources close to Zarzuela Palace say Queen Letizia was concerned. Not about Christian himself, but about Leonor losing focus. About the media frenzy. About the clash of 2 very different royal cultures. Letizia, ever protective, wanted her daughter to rule first, love later. But King Felipe, he reportedly saw something different. A quiet confidence in Christian. A stabilizing presence. And above all, his daughter's happiness. Still, for months, nothing was official. The public saw only glimpses. A shared glance at a state banquet. Matching speeches at a youth summit in Geneva. A photo, quickly deleted, of 2 silhouettes walking near a Danish lake. And then, the rumors. A proposal. Private. Intimate. No photographers. No palace announcement. Until now. We now know that Prince Christian proposed to Princess Leonor during a private weekend in Majorca this past summer. The location. A quiet cove just outside the Royal Merivent Palace. Just the 2 of them. No staff. No cameras. Just history unfolding in silence. He brought no guards. No press. Just a ring, chosen himself, a sapphire surrounded by diamonds. A nod to tradition, but uniquely hers. And she said yes. Sources confirm it was not a lavish gesture, but a deeply emotional one. He spoke in Spanish. She replied in Danish. Both of them fluent in each other's world. But why now? Why her? Why him? Let's rewind. Princess Leonor is 19, young in years, but seasoned in duty. Her recent completion of the first year at Spain's elite General Military Academy was more than symbolic. It was a message. She is prepared to lead. And Prince Christian, 20, he is stepping into his own light. Inheriting responsibilities. Learning the weight of his future. But behind the scenes, it's clear, they are stronger together. Friends of the Danish royal family say Queen Mary has long been impressed by Leonor's grace. And in a quiet meeting between Queen Mary and Queen Letizia earlier this year, there was a shift. Not opposition, but acceptance. Still, there are questions. What will this mean for the line of succession? For diplomatic relationships? For tradition? The answer lies in how Europe's monarchies are changing. No longer defined by arranged alliances, but by shared values. A future queen and a future king, joining not just hearts, but ideals. Leonor and Christian represent a new generation. One that leads with empathy, with education, and with deep, personal connection. But that doesn't mean it's easy. Behind palace walls, there is tension. Spanish traditionalists are cautious. Danish advisors are strategic. And both monarchies are calculating the risks of blending 2 sovereign paths. But for Leonor, the choice was not political. It was personal. She chose him. In letters shared privately between them, she reportedly wrote, "You see the weight I carry, and yet, you never make it feel heavy." He replied, "When I see you walk into a room, I see the future. And I'm not afraid of it." Those words say more than any press release. Still, will there be a wedding? Sources close to the Danish crown suggest 2026 could be the year. Not immediately, not under pressure, but with thoughtful timing. And it wouldn't be just a royal celebration. It would be a symbol. A union of two nations. A modern love story rooted in ancient tradition. Already, preparations are discreetly underway. Private family meetings, legal consultations, the merging of two lives that have been trained for duty since birth. And yet, they are still human. They laugh. They disagree. They text late at night. They send playlists. They talk about the world beyond palace walls. And they fight, too. About privacy. About press. About pressure. But they return to one thing: trust. Leonor has said yes. To him. To the life they will build. To the shared mission they will carry. And though it may seem like a fairy tale, it's one built on discipline, distance, patience, and quiet courage. As this news spreads, the world watches. Some with skepticism, some with hope, but those closest to them, they see something else. Two people who could have been anything, chose each other. And that changes everything. This is only the beginning. Will they walk down the aisle before Leonor ascends the throne? Will Christian move to Spain, or will Leonor someday live in Denmark? Will their union reshape royal diplomacy across Europe? The answers are coming. But for now, one thing is clear. She said yes. And for two royal hearts, the future just became one. Stay with us as we continue to follow every chapter of this unfolding royal love story.